Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoevsky once said, "Suffering is the only cause of consciousness." These words were not born in the warmth of a philosopher's study, but in penal servitude, 4 steps away from execution, in the depths of human despair. There are people who read about life, and there are those who have read it with their own skin, their own blood. They have different eyes. They see what is hidden from others. They know truths that can't be found in motivational quotes or positive posts. Today, we will talk about 7 life truths available only to those who bear scars on their souls. And our guide will be a man who descended into the abyss of suffering and returned with priceless revelations. Truth 1. Suffering is not punishment, but awakening. Most people run from pain. They build entire fortresses out of denial, distraction, and illusion. But those who have passed through true suffering know pain is not an enemy. It is a teacher. Dostoevsky wrote in Notes from Underground, "Suffering is the only cause of consciousness. When everything collapses, when your familiar world shatters into fragments, it is precisely then that a person truly awakens. Comfort lulls us to sleep. We drift with the current, live on autopilot, repeat the same patterns. But suffering tears away the masks. It forces us to ask, who am I really? What matters? Why am I alive?" Truth 2. The darkest moments reveal the brightest light. In The Brothers Karamazov, Elder Zosima says, "Much on earth is hidden from us, but in return, we are granted a secret, inner sense of our living bond with another world. This knowledge comes only in darkness, when everything is taken from you, when you stand on the edge of the abyss. There, in that emptiness, something incredible suddenly flares up. Gratitude for a simple breath, tenderness toward a passing stranger, the beauty of a cloud in the sky you never noticed before." Dostoevsky himself experienced this. When he was led to execution, made to live through his final moments, and then pardoned, he saw the world anew. Every snowflake was a miracle, every instant a gift. Those with scars understand. The deepest insights come not on the peaks of success, but in the valleys of despair, when you lose everything. Truth 3. You will never return to your former innocence. There comes a moment in life after which everything changes forever. Raskolnikov after the murder, Ivan Karamazov after his conversation with the devil. After that, you can never go back to carefree innocence. Dostoevsky is ruthlessly honest. Once innocence is lost, it cannot be regained. Now you know what a human being is capable of. You know the abyss within. You know how fragile life is. You look at children, at their carefree joy, and you understand there is no way back there. You have seen what cannot be unseen, but people with scars know what comes in its place is far more precious. Depth arrives, wisdom, the ability for true gratitude. A person with innocence rejoices because they know no alternative. But the joy of someone who has passed through pain is sharper, more piercing. Their love is more conscious. Their compassion deeper. Truth 4. We create most of our own suffering. This is a bitter truth, one that is hard to swallow. But those who have looked honestly into their pain know most of our torment is born not from external circumstances, but from how we relate to them. Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment is a perfect example. His real punishment doesn't begin in Siberia, but in his own mind. His theories, his pride, his inability to accept himself. These create a hell far worse than any prison. Dostoevsky reveals a deep psychological truth. We build cages out of our beliefs, fears, and resentments. We cling to our pain and make it part of our identity. I am the one who was betrayed. I am the one unworthy of love. I am the victim of circumstances. People with scars have walked through this hell of self-torment and emerged on the other side. They have realized liberation begins not when the world around us changes, but when our way of seeing it does. This doesn't mean denying the reality of pain. It means taking responsibility for what we do with that pain. Will we keep chewing on it endlessly? Or will we allow it to transform us? Truth 5. Compassion is born from personal pain. It's impossible to truly understand another's suffering until you've known your own. This isn't theoretical knowledge. It's knowledge of the flesh, the bones, the entire being. In The Insulted and Injured, Dostoevsky writes, "He who has suffered much knows much." And that knowledge becomes the ability to see another person's pain, not superficially, not out of pity, but from deep recognition. I have been there. I know what it's like. People without scars can sympathize, but only those who have been through hell themselves can reach out to the drowning, because they remember what it feels like to suffocate in the dark. They don't say, "Pull yourself together," or "Everything will be fine." They simply sit beside you because they know sometimes presence matters more than words. Truth 6. Meaning is not found, it is created. Viktor Frankl, who survived a concentration camp, drew on Dostoevsky's insight when he wrote, "A man can endure any how if he has a why." In The Brothers Karamazov, Ivan poses the eternal question: if there is so much suffering in the world, especially innocent suffering, then what meaning can there be? Dostoevsky offers no easy answer, because there isn't one. But here's what people with scars discover. Meaning is not given in advance. It cannot be found on a map. It will not fall from the sky. Meaning is a choice. It is what you create from your suffering. You can turn pain into revenge. You can turn it into cynicism. You can turn it into alcohol, self-destruction. Or you can turn it into art, into service, into helping others, into the depth of understanding. Dostoevsky turned 4 years of penal servitude into some of the greatest novels in world literature. He created meaning out of meaninglessness. Truth 7. After the death of the old self, true life begins. The last, and perhaps the most important, truth. People with scars know. The person you were before the pain has died. And that is not a tragedy, it is liberation. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov experiences both spiritual death and rebirth. His old self, with its pride and theories, had to die so that a new man could be born, one capable of love, of feeling, of truly living. Dostoevsky wrote, "Every man must experience standing on the edge at least once in his life to understand what life is. That edge is where your old version crumbles to dust. And it's terrifying, because you don't know what lies on the other side. But those who have passed through that death and rebirth know. The person who rises from the ashes is stronger, wiser, more alive. He no longer clings to illusions. Dostoevsky lived a life full of suffering. A death sentence revoked at the last moment. Years of hard labor, epilepsy, poverty, the deaths of loved ones. But it was precisely this that made his voice so piercing, so authentic. He didn't write theories, he wrote in blood. If you bear scars on your soul, know this: you see what others cannot see. You know what others do not know. Your pain is not an accident. It has made you deeper, wiser, more human. And perhaps the greatest truth is this: we do not choose our scars, but we do choose what they will mean, whether they will become a curse or a blessing.